everyone, welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name's Lizzie and today I have a show and tell video for you. Now, after having quite a big period of time this year where I didn't do much sewing because of injuring my wrist, I've suddenly become pretty productive in the sewing stakes, which feels really good. I really feel like I've got my sojo back and I'm excited to be doing lots of sewing. And I've made 4 things that I want to tell you about. They are quite relatively small projects, but that makes them no less exciting. And the first thing that I want to tell you about is a refashion. Now, I'll put some pictures in so you can see what I'm talking about, but a few years ago I made a cocoon dress. It's the Simple Sew cocoon dress, and I made it in the most beautiful Atelier Brunette viscose fabric. And being Atelier Brunette, it obviously wasn't cheap. I bought it from Sew Me Sunshine and it's gorgeous quality. But I just found that I just didn't really wear it. It wasn't a garment that I was drawn to in my wardrobe. I think the cocoon shape actually wasn't the best for my figure, and I think really it could do with a slit up the back because I just found it actually a little bit restrictive to walk in. I'm like a real A to B kind of walker and I like to take nice big strides, and the dress was a little bit restrictive. Also, the Atelier Brunette viscose crinkles quite a lot. I think that's just the nature of a lot of viscose fabrics really. And again, that put me off wearing it because the cocoon dress didn't look particularly good rumpled and crinkled, so it kind of did need ironing, and that was another thing that just put me off from reaching it from my wardrobe. So I thought, okay, what can I do to this garment that will make me wear it more often and will make it something that I want to wear more regularly? And I decided that I would turn it into a top. Now, this is actually a refashion that I've done before because I had also made a Simple Sew cocoon dress in a linen look cotton. The fabric came from Doughty's and it's in a beautiful sort of, not olive green, but it's like a beautiful green colour. And again, I just didn't really wear it as a dress, and I turned it into a top by literally chopping it off at the right sort of to hit my waist, plus obviously a bit of seam allowance. And then I used the excess fabric, sort of the skirt portion, to I sort of cut it up and sewed it into long strips, hemmed it, gathered it, and then reattached it back to the top to make, or to the bodice to make like a gathered hemmed top. And that's exactly what I've done again. But this time I've done a longer ruffle, and it's a totally different fabric, so it obviously gives quite a different effect. So I'll kind of hold it up. I'm probably gonna have to put pictures in to show you, but ultimately it's the same, literally exactly the same on the top. So it's just like a little grown on sort of sleeve. There's no actual sleeve attachment, but it does kind of come down and cover the shoulders. And then it's got a V neckline, it's got a neck facing, and then yeah, I've just attached this nice long ruffly bit to the bottom of the top, and I also attached some ties at the sides so that I could pull it in and like tie it at the back just to give it a little bit more shape. I'm really pleased with the result, and I've already been really enjoying wearing this top. I'm particularly pleased with the fact that I made the ruffle quite a lot longer this time, which means that the top actually, it like hits me on the waist in terms of where the main bodice meets the ruffle, and then I can cinch it in with my little waist ties. But the ruffle is so long that it actually but it just covers my sort of crotch and my bum. And I just really like that because, firstly, if I'm just having a lazy, like cozy day at home, or just working from home, because I'm still working from home at the moment due to the pandemic, if I just want to wear like a pair of leggings on the bottom half to be super comfortable, I can wear this top and I don't feel like I'm, you know, walking around with no skirt on, because unless they're proper sports leggings, I'm not really into the whole leggings without like having your bum on show thing. I don't think it's the most flattering. And it means, you know, if I have like a delivery arriving or something and I need to open the door to like the postman or something, obviously socially distanced, I don't feel like I'm not wearing any clothes because my bum's covered. Also, I'm a big fan of Trinny Woodall, who has a YouTube channel and an Instagram page. She has her own makeup brand called Trinny London, I think it's called, and I know her because back when I was a child she had a programme on TV with another lady called What Not to Wear, and it was all about giving women like a makeover and helping them learn which kind of clothes flatter their body type to help them feel really good in their own skin and really good in their clothes. And Trinny has a somewhat of a similar body type to me in that she's very long in the torso with shorter legs by comparison, and she talks about on her channel how it can be really good to cover your crotch if that's your body type, because then nobody actually knows where your legs finish. Like if a top covers beyond your crotch, like they don't know, well, exactly that, they don't know whether your crotch starts here or if it's here, and it gives more of an illusion of longer legs. And I thought, I'm gonna give this a try. I'm typically a real like high-waisted jeans with the top tucked in kind of person, but actually I think she's totally right that having a top that covers my crotch means that for all anybody knows, my legs go all the way up to here. So I really like that, and I'm keen to maybe think about how I can introduce that silhouette into my wardrobe in other ways as well. The second thing that I made this month is a pair of shorts. I'm delighted because right now as I'm filming this on Sunday, and I think this is probably, we're having one last heat wave in the UK. I think we all thought that autumn had set in and summer was over, but actually it's 26 degrees in London today, and I think it's supposed to be 29 degrees tomorrow. So summer is back for a few days at least, and I've made the Nielsen Flint shorts. I'd already made a pair of these before. They're one of my ultimate most worn makes. I made a pair in navy blue and I wear them just every summer day. They just are my go-to summer shorts. I had some fabric in my stash that I bought years ago, like a couple of years ago when I made the blue ones, and it's a green, like I think it's a cotton drill, and I bought it from Classic Textiles on the Goldhawk Road in London. And they'd always been destined to be another pair of shorts, and I love my navy blue pair of Flint shorts so much that I thought, right, I really need to sew them up in this green fabric and then have a navy pair and a green pair. I'm also on a bit of a mission to try and reduce my stash, and not reduce it necessarily, it's quite compact as it is, but I want to keep it small. So I want to sew through some of the fabrics I already have before I start buying more fabric, and this was the first place to start. So I'm wearing them now. I'll put some pictures in because I don't think you'll be able to see very well, but they are just, oh, I just love them. They're high-waisted, they've got really deep pockets, little tucks on the front. Yeah, they're just lovely, and I really like them paired with this camisole top, which is of course a True Bias Ogden cami, made in this like jungle crepe that I made this a few years ago with some leftover fabrics from a V9075 jumpsuit. And I'm just loving this all-in-one green outfit, so thank goodness that the summer rolled around again for a few days for me to get some wear out of them before next year. This time with the Nielsen Flint shorts, you put buttons in it, which is such a huge thing because I very recently, sort of within the last few months, learned how to do buttonholes, and it's revolutionised my sewing. The first time I made the Nielsen Flint shorts, I chickened out and I put an invisible zip in the side, which isn't part of the instructions. I had to kind of wing it to figure out how I could do that. It worked out fine, but I do think that actually the zip is probably going to need replacing maybe next summer or by the end of next summer, because it's better with buttons. So in fact I'm going to take these shorts off so I can show you properly on the inside what it looks like. So this is what they look like, and I actually interlined them completely in this green cotton fabric. So you can see on the inside, let me turn them inside out. They are totally interlined, and interlining is basically where you sew two layers of fabric together and use them as one. So for me, I find it a much easier way of lining something than bagging something out. And the reason I did that was because although this sort of dark green cotton twill is really nice from the outside, the reverse side didn't feel very nice. It's obviously got some like synthetic element to it. Didn't feel nice, so I thought, well, I don't want a horrible fabric touching my skin, especially not because I'll be wearing these on a hot day. So I interlined them with cotton, which is much nicer against my skin. And in terms of how they close, so basically they open here, and I've got my two buttons on this side. You can choose to put the buttons on the outside, and I did a bit of an Instagram poll, and you guys actually all told me that I should have the buttons showing on the outside, but I went against all your advice and I have them on the inside so they're not visible from the outside of the short, But yeah, they open like this. I've got my 2 buttonholes here, and actually I put the buttonholes slightly too far in to the middle of the shorts, so I had like a little flicky bit of fabric here that didn't sit flat, so I've just put a little popper there just to hold that corner down to stop it from poking out, and I'm really pleased with them. The 3rd and 4th items that I've made are the same. They're 2 of the same but different colours, and these are super simple, basic, everyday t-shirts. I am a big just t-shirt and jeans person at the weekends when I don't have anything particularly exciting going on. I just throw on high-waisted jeans, t-shirt tucked in, little belt, good to go. You can throw on a jumper over the top or whatever if it's a bit chilly. And I have a couple of t-shirts from Uniqlo that I just live in. They're in 2 different shades of blue. I'm sure you'll recognise the main one that I'm talking about here because I wear it constantly, like in all my videos. I'm wearing this t-shirt. It's in like a lovely petrol blue colour, and I wanted to replicate them basically. I don't really actually have like a pattern for just a basic t-shirt. I've got the Tilly and the Buttons stretch book, which comes with the Frankie, is it the Frankie baseball tee? But that's like a raglan sleeve style t-shirt, and raglan sleeves aren't so good on me because I think it like makes my shoulders look broader. I prefer to have a seam here to kind of break up the width of my shoulders. So I thought, well, do you know what, instead of buying another pattern, side note, if I was able to, I would have chosen to make the t-shirt pattern from the new Tilly and the Buttons book, make it simple, but it would seem a bit silly to buy a whole book just for one t-shirt pattern. So I've made a copy, I've like made a pattern by copying my Uniqlo t-shirt. I've watched a few videos on how to do this on YouTube in the past, particularly one from With Wendy, who's got a video on how to clone your clothes and sort of create a pattern. And basically what I did was like lay the t-shirt down on a big giant piece of tracing paper, folded it in half, and I kind of made sure all the edges and stuff were lined up, and I kind of used a pin to like poke through, kind of lift the edge of the t-shirt up, do a little mark with a pencil, and kind of do that all the way around what would be, you know, the front piece and then the back piece. And so I did that all the way around, and I added 1.5 centimetres of seam allowance, and yeah, did that. The only bit that was tricky were the sleeves, because obviously the sleeves, unless you're going to literally chop the t-shirt up to be able to unfold the piece to trace around it, that's a bit more tricky. But I managed it, and I drafted a neckband, and one of them has got a hemband because the original t-shirt does have a hemband, so I was kind of trying to replicate the original t-shirt, but then decided I preferred it without the hemband for the second one. But yeah, I've kind of created myself my own Uniqlo size extra small t-shirt pattern, and these are the t-shirts. So this is the first one, which this fabric is, hang on. So this is petrol cotton jersey that I bought from Minerva Crafts, and this is, I originally bought it to make a Tilly and the Buttons Freya top. So this fabric is leftovers. I'm always really careful to only buy as much fabric as the pattern says, because I don't usually buy fabric unless I know what I want to make with it. But you often end up with leftovers. Like, often the pattern companies aren't necessarily able to tell you how the fabric requirements change based on your size, because of course if you're making a larger size you'll need more fabric compared with a smaller size. So anyway, I ended up with quite a large piece of leftover lovely petrol blue jersey. So here we go. Made a whole t-shirt out of the leftovers, which just felt such a good way to use up that leftover fabric and clear some space in my mission to get rid of all my leftovers and things. And then the second one is in this beautiful storm cloud blue. It's Stoff of Denmark, Alana jersey. It's Stoff of Denmark jersey, which I bought from First for Fabrics. And again, I've already got a Tilly and the Buttons Freya top in this, and this was made out of the leftover fabric. I'm delighted to have been able to use up those large pieces of scrap fabric, because it was just silly them sitting there not being used, but also they were too big. The pieces were too big to throw away. It would just have been such a waste. So yeah, I've got myself 2 new basic t-shirts, and these are going to get, honestly, they're going to get so much wear out of them, because as I said, if I'm just having a casual day at home, jeans, t-shirt, easy. The only trouble I had with these t-shirts was the neck bands, because yeah, I kind of obviously had to draft the neck bands myself, and there's Guthrie and Garni has a tutorial on her YouTube channel about neck bands, which was really helpful. But the first time I sewed it in, I drafted the neckband way too small, and it was just too tight, and so it was buckling all the fabric. Because obviously you need your neckband to be tight enough that it lays flat and doesn't like stick out, but you don't want it to be too tight, because then it will like bunch all the fabric up and not be smooth. So with this is the one I made first, and this neckband is the second attempt. But yeah, I'm getting there. So the neckbands aren't perfect, but with practice over time, I'm sure I'll get better at those. This month I've been joining in with Sew Yourself Sustainable, which is a Instagram challenge set up by the new craft house to inspire us all to sort of think about sustainability within our dressmaking. And one of the prompts asked us to sort of make a pledge. And my pledge for the month of September, in terms of sewing myself sustainable, was to make one garment with leftover fabric, which is what I've done. So already these two tick that box, because these are both garments made with leftover fabric. And the other pledge was to, what was it? Oh yeah, to make one thing from my sort of to repair to refashion box. So that's what I've got left to do in terms of my pledges for Sew Yourself Sustainable. But yeah, these two have already ticked off one of my pledges for Sew Yourself Sustainable in September, which is great. So there you have it. Those are the 4 things that I have made recently. Please do give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more of my dressmaking videos. I'd also love to see you over on my Instagram account, so I'll put it in the description below if you're on Instagram and you'd like to come over and follow me on there. And I'll see you next time. Bye!